purity. Remember, when we're born, we're omniscient. We think we're God. We don't know it. We think our mother is us. We think it's an inseparable thing. Her breast, my head, same thing. You know? Her life, her breath, walking, me. We don't know the difference. We're born with the right view. We lose it. We were born with the right view. We had the ability to look at something, sense it, realize if it was good for us or not good for us. And that's when we started to feel threatened. When your little brother came up to you and pinched you when you were little, and you were smiling until you cried, and you realized when you looked down that he was actually pinching your leg. Well, that's when it started. You can imagine yourself, and I need you to do this. Tonight when you go home before you go to bed, I want you to imagine being a little baby, growing up in a house where not everybody could pay attention to you. Not everyone can run and serve your needs. But in a universe where it was intended that you eventually lose that trust and develop a sense of identity for yourself. Where we lose and separate from our true omniscient nature and pick up a double, a not-self along the way. We start to develop our personality along self-defensive lines. Now, I talked about the word threat. You know a lot about that. I want you to imagine tonight that a lot of times, just because you feel mortal and haven't proven that you're imperishable yet, that's another good reason you're going to feel threatened all the time. How many of you know you're not just human, but you're human? Fact. Right? How many of you need to still prove that to yourself? How many of you need to prove to yourself still that you're more than just human? You need to prove it more? Okay, and we're going to do that. That's what this course is for. We'll put you in touch with the information, but it's your life information. You have to think about it, and we'll get you through it, and you'll find the evidence for it. When you were younger, you felt threatened, you lost interest, and you lost trust. Now, how many people do you trust today?
Well, just because you lose interest is no sign you lose trust, is it?
Yes. You wouldn't think so, but as soon as you do, you lose trust. They're one and the same. And let's give an example. Let's hear a few examples. How many of you would trust someone you felt threatened by? No. See, it's a threat first. The operative word is threat. If you felt threatened by someone, you might lose interest. And in that moment, you also lose trust because they have threatened you. And the only defense mechanism we know is to run, escape, hide, or deal with it. Most of us don't know how to deal with it effectively because we don't know our own truth to begin with. So left to raise yourself, and everyone here has. Anybody here that didn't raise themselves? Left to raise yourself, you make conclusions when you're a year old, 2 years old, 3, 4, 5, 6, that are still there. You're still reacting the same way you did when you were 5. If I go like this, ready? What happened to you? How'd you feel inside? I don't want to play with you. You might not like me anymore if I say that to you.
I just want to do it back to you.
Right, see? What I'm saying is that the old habit of reaction and countering and making someone feel the same kind of pain is in us because we have left it that way. Why? Because no one gave us a course in psychology when we were younger. Whoever taught you what memory, mind, self-talk, senses, feeling, if you don't study these things, it's normal.
Well, I wanted to, however, sometimes I've heard myself say, well, I don't want to go down to their level.
Yeah. Well, that's things you learn from other people too. That's why I'm saying we adopt other people's views. We adopt our views. We get views from television. Remember, we're the ones that we no longer trust what anybody else around us says about us because they're not helpful, they're more discriminatory. And so we have to start talking to ourselves in ways that solves our problem. So we find ways of hiding facts, pretending that we're not offended, keeping up appearances, acting solid when we're brokenhearted. And once we start doing that, we start shaping a personality that we lose sight of when we get to puberty. All of a sudden, that personality starts reshaping itself in a hurry. Because now we're interested in something else other than just getting by. Now we hope to escape through love. Find someone, fall in love, and run away. How many of you dreamt that? I used to think I don't have enough money for anybody to fall in love and run away with me. And it was true, so I guess it was lucky.
How many of us did it? Did.
How many did? Yes. So now you have to understand this. I want you to know, 6 billion people tonight feel threatened. Their reaction is to do the same thing, to judge and be equally critical, and maybe not say that out loud, but they're fault finders today. And as a result of their fault finding, they have cut themselves off from a lot of enterprises, a lot of opportunity, a lot of things that they're quietly uninformed about, that they forgot about, that they were scared of, frightened of over years ago. There's nothing to be frightened about today, but we need to prove it to ourselves, take that old conditioning and mature it. But it's a reaction that's in our chemical nature. Our physical nature is bound by it. Our chemistry says, I'm going to keep repeating this. Every time I feel threatened, I'm going to tell us to run away or get pissed off and get even. And we never change it. We go, well, that works. Maybe I just won't say it out loud if we want to keep a friend. And let's not let people know we're judgmental. That helps too. So we learn to get a job, keep a job. And we do our best to pretend all our life, and sometime along the way we say, that's it, I've had enough. I am tired of pretending that all of this is wonderful. By that time our view of life is so negative that we think that most people are not worth our time. They could care less whether we live or die, which is true. And you'll find that, don't get upset about it, but what can you expect? They all grew up the same way, they've all gone through the same thing, and they've all understood what it is not to trust anybody anymore. So do you blame them about not being concerned about your life or not having compassion? Don't blame the unenlightened. Don't expect them to be enlightened. Expect the unenlightened to be unenlightened. If you think one day somebody's going to walk up to you and go, oh, you are the most profound, beautiful person I have ever met, and that's the first words out of their mouth,
That's love at first sight.
yep, it might happen, but I doubt it.
They want to sleep with you.
Of course. Exactly. What I'm saying is,
To drink.
most people, I want you to know this tonight. I want you to go home and go, wait a second, this guy's teaching me some stuff, but do I really want to do this? I want you to know that some of the pictures in your mind, you can understand if you do this. Go home, picture those 6 billion people. They get up every day, they talk to themselves all day long. And the pictures, when they talk to themselves all day long, that go through their mind, reinforce their beliefs. So until the pictures in their mind change, or the tone of voice in their life changes, their self-talk, or their conditioning changes, you can expect to go home 30 years from now and find people exactly the same way you left them, just a little more miserable. They don't change once they have become poisoned by their ego. Okay? You're going to find a lot of people want out of this, but you have to start seeing it and understand that don't expect people not to be fault finders. Wise up. They are. But let them be. Just don't tell them you know. For the duration of this course, I'd like you to keep this a secret between us. Really. Because on the outside, somebody can hear, oh, he taught you how to look for fault finders. That's not what I did, right? But I want you to be aware that you earn trust over time with people that are temperamental, with people that need time to develop that. You have to expect people need to take time to evaluate when they have no other means. So expect people to find fault in you. It's normal. Don't throw them out of your house when they do. Don't give up on the friendship just because they do. Start to understand it's normal to be a fault finder. So am I. Come on, sit down, let's find some fault. And see what it costs you. How many of you have ever sat one night with somebody you had lots of fun with, finding fault with everybody in life? You can have a lot of fun. Did you see that moron? I couldn't believe what she did that night. It's letting out the steam. You're going to find that there's a lot of pent-up frustration